Underground radio.
What does it mean to be underground? It means you gotta be free to be underground. Yo, you got your own key when you're underground. If you're listening to me, yo, you underground.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Connected with Cari here on JessTV, JessFM Underground Radio C. We are live through the NCG television network in Italy. We are also live through Roku TV 101 app. So if you go over to your Roku TV, find the 101 app, download that, you will see our big, beautiful faces and a big, beautiful screen on your TV. This weekend is Stanley Cup playoffs. And if you're Canadian like I am, even though our teams, the Calgary Flames are out, another team that I like, they're out. So what happens here in Canada is we all just cheer for the Canadian teams that are going on because that's what we do. We love hockey. So go Montreal Canadiens. We're cheering for you this evening. We hope that you win. I have a guest on my show tonight who's from the States, but he doesn't have to know. No one tell him, okay? Just keep it on the down low. So there's that. So I hope everyone had a beautiful, lovely, long weekend here in Canada. Next weekend is a Memorial Day weekend in the United States. So those of you who will be celebrating, this is like your short weekend. Like your short weekend is coming up. But anyway, I hope you guys have a safe, wonderful weekend. We had snow here in Calgary. I wasn't here in Calgary. I was in Lethbridge for work. It was fabulous and beautiful. Go check out my reels. There's amazing things to do in Lethbridge if you have not been there. If you are in Canada, you want to go down the States for Memorial long weekend, do it. Have fun. It'll be awesome and amazing because that's what they do. And they have fireworks. Like we don't have as much fireworks, but that's okay. So without further ado, first of all, this is the second episode of the group radio podcast that we are putting out, myself and my co-host, Deb Drummond, who I'm going to bring in. Hopefully Deb can hear me.
Yes.
Deb, can you hear me? Perfect. We may or may not have technical issues as we go along. We are working through these. It's called live TV, folks. So Deb is my beautiful co-host. We did this one about a month ago. It was our first group radio podcast. It was so much fun. We had amazing people on, entrepreneurs, creatives, those in media, those that are authors, those are summit speakers, you name it. They've been on the show. Some people that have been on my show have been in this 262 book. This is the Mission Accepted Media book right here. Some have been on the group radio show. Some have been just solo guests on the show. So you may have seen some faces and you will be seeing more faces coming up. And I do ask that you like and share all of these little podcasts and radio shows that are in the group because this is not just a project. This is what Deb calls it, a movement.
A movement.
A movement. Deb, take us real quick through the so-called movement. Will
Wow.
you please?
Well, thank you so much, Cari. It's always a pleasure to come back. You are the best host. You make it fun, and we all have a really good time and feel completely relaxed. Cari is also part of this movement. She's been on our stages many times. She's in the book, and that book has been around the world a few times. Castles in Ireland, Emmys and Oscars suites, Vancouver galas, bookstores all over. It has been really, really a pleasure to be able to have something that unfolds itself. We have like these best laid plans. The goal was to produce a book of 262 women that had this gumption inside and people needed to hear about it and know about it so they could grab their own. And then it converted over to these incredible summits, we've done 30 summits of 30 to 40 speakers. And that's been incredible, 1,400 speakers. And then we added a television show because why wouldn't you? And so the speakers that come on to the summits have now finding themselves on the women's channel and streaming to all sorts of incredible streams. And we are so excited because some of the gentlemen that are here with us tonight were part of our first men's panel that we had on the summit last month, May 8th, just a few weeks ago. And they were celebrating women that had inspired them to continue to be successful in what they do. So really, it is a collaborative book, summit, speaking, community movement based project that highlights the power of International Women's Day and allows us to remember that on more than just March 8th. And yes, I'm over here in Vancouver, Canada. So go, Canada, go.
Like, bring the cup home. But more importantly, as you said, there have been male speakers behind the scenes that, you know, they're supporting the women, but they're also showing up in their own ways, which is so cool and so neat and just so important because I think as a partnership of men and women, we always kind of support each other, whether one's in the back or one's in the front, whatever it is. It's such a cool collaboration to see, but we are not just a women's movement. We celebrate the men as well, because without the men, I mean, it's a partnership, right?
Here's how we put it the best, Carrie. We say that this is a project for women and cool dudes.
Cool dudes.
Cool dudes.
Perfect.
Women and those that support women, right? So absolutely, I'm with you 100%. I can't wait to hear them share tonight.
Right, absolutely. And your son, Ocean, of course, he's a cool dude. And he's
cool
in the
dude.
book. He did the art cover for the book. So we had him on last episode. He was amazing. And just a young fellow coming in so he can, you know, grind with the rest of the men and see what's going on and be another support system for them as well, because I think that's so important. And I think the younger men do need leadership and see the older men coming in and how they're supporting women in those roles. So without further ado, why don't we bring in the men?
Why don't we do that?
Let's bring in the men first. We're going to change this up just a little bit, I think, because Deb's going to ask the first question. And I think I would like the men to kind of start first, and then we'll bring in the women. What do you say?
I say that you get to run this party any way you want. So I'm like, I'm so excited not to be leading. I'm so excited to be following. So look at, we got two great guys here. We just finished talking about the incredible men's panel that was part of the summit. So I'm going to jump right in. I'm going to ask the question. And you know what? I know that we know these guys, but your world doesn't know these guys. So let's figure this out. So Scott, I'm going to start with you.
Thank you.
We were talking about you a little earlier when we were like, Canada, bring home the cup. But you know, we love you and you love us.
All right. Absolutely. And I'm from Boston, and I'm a Bruins fan through and through. However, and Canadians have always been arch nemesis, but I am rooting for the Canadians. I truly am. I have a friend of mine that's a Canadians fan, and he's like, "Oh, they're just going to get killed." I'm like, "No, they're going the cup. They're going to win the cup. Montreal's going to win it."
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Montreal. You heard it here first. Okay. So Scott, our sportscaster tonight, we're going to start with him. And so Scott, please share with the audience what it is that you do. And you and Shiraz, who we're going to hear from next, were part of the first men's panel that hit this whole 262 movement. And we were talking about how, you know, the movement is for women and those who support women, basically cool dudes. And you guys stood up and you showed up, and we're so grateful. And that's really what this whole thing is about. But share with us a little bit about maybe a positive experience that comes from what you do, and what was it like for you? Like both, I'm going to ask you guys the same question. What was it like for you to be on this incredible summit that, let's say it was women leaned, you know, by nature, there might've been a few more. I don't know, just saying. But what was that like for you? And what's kind of the positive way that your life has changed by doing what you do and participating in that way?
So I'm sure, like Shiraz, he's used to being the unicorn. When I started yoga, when I was 50, I was the guy in the back row, you know, over there. 25 women and me. I go to Zooms, and there are 23 women and myself. I write in books for Laura DeFranco, and there are 25 authors and 2 guys. I had 3 daughters. I'm used to being in dance class, in Girl Scouts, and brownies, and softball. I've done that all my life. And I've always been kind of that guy. I love being in the room with women, to be able to stand up. And when I got into these healing modalities, working with clients, I asked someone who'd been in it for a long time, I said, should I get out of this? I'm a guy, and everywhere I go, it's all women. He says, no. There needs to be the masculine in the room. There is a balance. And what I found in being a better man is to be able to find my inner sacred feminine. It's kind of hard to look at a 350-pound motorcycle dude, walk up to him and say, you got to find your inner feminine to be a better man. But that is the completion of it, of being a whole person, going from your head to your heart, and your heart is the sacred feminine. I am a much better man than I ever was before. And being with the summit, it was an incredible experience. I want to tell you, I know the question is going to be, what did I get out of it? I found my new brave, because usually I'm not live. Usually, I do podcasts, but usually I'm not in that format. And I absolutely love the energy. I love the feedback. I've had any number of connections with people that were on the summit. And it was such a great experience. And I want to thank you for putting that all together in the way that you did.
Well, thank you so much for being there. And I love how you tapped into your inner feminine. And I will admit, because we've been talking about hockey, so I was the girl with all of the guys behind the school, and we used to put hockey cards up, and we used to flip them. Anyone else used to do that? And my favorite team, I know, I'm sorry, Vancouver Canucks, was Detroit Red Wings. And I used to try to get all the Detroit Red Wings. So I was tapping into my inner masculine. And they had no mercy. They were like, I don't care, sweetheart, let's do this thing. And yeah, that was my elementary school days. But thank you so much. You're a multi-author. You're an incredible healer. And it was so powerful to hear you share. And Shiraz, same question over to you, my friend.
All right. So thank you. I am Shiraz. I am a reality interventionist. So what that actually means is I get you out of the addiction you have to your current life. Most people don't realize you're actually addicted to your life. So it could be addiction to struggle, to lack, to working hard all the time. And I help you get addicted to ease, to wealth, to success just happening continuously. And it's like Scott, my world is filled with women. At my highest level program, it's called $1 Million Impact Makers. It's all women. And that has been my life. And it's funny because the guys in my life, it's like, you're so lucky because you're hanging out with these women all the time. I'm like, when you're the only guy, they forget you're a guy and they just talk like women when you're not in the room. It's not fun.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
What was it like for you to be on the summit where, I mean, I know it's another venue for you in relationship, and I know you're a major speaker, and that might not have been unusual, but what was it like for you where the content was really a lot about women?
I'm used to it. I really enjoyed a lot of the talks. The big thing for 262 for me was I sponsored a lot of the women clients that had to be in the book and on the summits, and I came out to watch them talk, and I was just so proud of them and the connections they made, where their lives have gone as a result of 262. And that is my joy, watching the women in my life excel.
Awesome. Well, Carrie, do you think we should let the women in the room?
We can let the women in the room. Thank you, men, for your feedback on that question. We commend you for letting us chat when we chat, and just consider it one of those. You're just part of the club. That's all. Not every man get to hear the women conversations. So, and then, yes, I too used to play like street hockey and do the hockey things. And my actual favorite team are the LA Kings. So I'm also a US hockey fan. So there's that. Anyway, we'll bring in the ladies now.
Let's bring those girls in.
Let's bring the ladies in. Welcome, ladies, into the show. Now we can chat without the men.
They were just saying how great we were. We're like, yep,
Aww,
we are.
They're so wonderful, aren't they? The men are just always wonderful. Deb, feel free to go ahead and ask your
Yeah,
questions of the
look, ladies,
ladies.
you are all part of 262. You've been on that stage. Some of you are in the book. Some of you are coming out into the 262.20 book, which will be out soon enough, I'm sure. So, Catherine, let's start with you. Share with the audience, because they may not know you the way that we do. And ladies, I'm going to ask you all the same questions. So, what is it that you do? And someone that's been part of the movement, as long as you've been part of the movement, what is something positive that has either changed your life, changed your business, changed your perspective? What's it been like hanging out with really cool women that are in process of change and transformation?
Oh, Deb, thank you so much. And also Carrie for having me here today. And, as a leadership and change strategist, my whole life sort of centers around how do we lead and lead better and more effectively? How do we make, transformations that we can feel good about and can be that ripple effect of positive energy going forward for everybody? And change is never an easy thing for anybody, and so this is just the way that I've learned. And just looking back in my career, I mean, I used to be the person who would go into a job. I'd be there for a year, 2 years maybe, and then I was bored. I needed to move on. And I always said I was the type of person who goes in, I help, I identify problems, I fix the problems, I get things set up, and then I want to transfer it to somebody to run it. I wasn't into just running things to stay the course. So that's kind of what drew me into this, and ended up with my master's in leadership long before it was even the in thing. But you know what it does is I now get that honor to work with high performing leaders who are doing amazing things, but yet somewhere deep inside, they may be lacking confidence, or they may be feeling frustrated, or they may be feeling overwhelmed, or, unsure about which direction to go next. And, that's really what has sort of driven me. And so, I always say that, purpose is why you do what you do, and your values are that driver, that your non-negotiables. And what you're trying to do as a leader is really know what your purpose is. You want to connect with the people that are on your team, whether that's an intact team or a non-intact team, and you want to create a world around you where people in performance really can connect. And we can do that by being very people-centered and being very connected to what makes us tick. And that's really what I do. And when I joined the 262 community, I felt that same desire to lead and connect and to make a difference from, well, originally Deb with you, and then obviously moving on with everybody else. And, it has just been the right connection for me. It was something I needed. I've just come back to work after a long hiatus. And now I've had these opportunities for, media initiatives and speaking and, getting involved in different issues and networking with people around the globe. It's just been amazing. So I always say, as leaders, we want to create a strong foundation. As business owners, we definitely want to see a growth and improvement. And, this has been a great decision for me because it's opened the door to opportunities. And you know what? You can't ask for better. And the summit just fueled that inspiration to keep doing what I want to be doing. And I can't say thank you enough.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. I heard a lot about connection to yourself, connection to others. So we're going to go from West Coast all the way to East Coast. We've got Karen coming in. She's been rocking and rolling her whole day. She's been up a few hours. She's had an umbrella up. She's come inside. She's got her beautiful flower on. I love this woman. Karen, from West Coast to East Coast, the same question to you, my friend.
Sure. Well, I am known as the no BS therapist. I debuted my book, Yellow Paint Learning to Live Again, and that was the culmination of over 30 years of experience as a mental health therapist, psychotherapist, clinical social worker here in Toronto. And over the years, through my own journey, but also knowing what makes a difference, because we want change, we need change, and then we turn around and get in the way of the very change we're looking for. So I've created a beautiful approach that is effective because I don't tell people what they want to hear. I tell them what they need to hear with a lot of self-compassion. So I hold people accountable and I teach them how to make themselves accountable to themselves to make sure that they can wake up tomorrow morning and have specific things they're doing differently because of our work together. So I trademarked the KG Accountable Therapy method in my book, Yellow Paint Learning to Live Again, which debuted was published in 2025. So it's a great body of work that I am incredibly proud of. And so I am now looking at providing therapy in 2026. We live in a psychologically literate society. People come to me having some ideas of what's gotten them trapped, where they got stuck, and even what to do about it. But it's kind of like, how do you take that next step to close that gap between insight and action? In terms of my connection to 262, I first met Deb in February of 2025, which is when I was bringing yellow paint down to Los Angeles. And I don't know if you remember this, Deb, but I said to you, do you remember this? I said, you're the good looking Mel Robbins. And so Deb was running around that room we were in. And I'm like, who is this woman? And she was just taking care of all of her people. Like I could see her going from booth to booth to booth to make sure everybody had what they needed. And her energy was infectious. She is so detailed and thorough, such an inspiration. And then I got to know more of the community, but that was my introduction.
Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you. All I know, and I remember that you gave my son a book, and he was 19 at the time, right? And he was determined to bring that book home, and he wanted to keep that book and make room in his suitcase. And I was like, this chick made an impression on my kid. I got to find out more. And we had a conversation, and here we are. Thank you.
It was probably the no BS element, And
yeah, maybe.
Great talk. No fluff.
All right, we're going to bounce ourselves back to West Side here, and we're going to get healed upon, and we're going to learn about health. And Lene, please let us know, the same question for you is, what do you do? Someone who's been part of this movement, how's it made impact on your world, and how is your work making impact on the world?
Amazing. Thank you, Carrie and Deb, for hosting. So yeah, I want to back up a little bit because I'm 28 years of law enforcement, soon to be retired. And during all of that 28 years of experience and some chaos in between with trauma and a near-death experience, I decided to go back while I was working and get all my nutrition and my coaching, my mindset coaching, and all my nutritional build up to now that I own my company, Healthy Living with Lene. And it was interesting what the guy said. They've been around women all their life. Well, I have been around men all my life, and often being the only woman in the room in pretty hardcore situations. And during all of this time, whether it was personal or work and going through many, many surgeries and my near-death experience, what I realized and took away from all of it is this resilience that I had. And I really wanted to build on that because I've mentored people all my life through work and different health and wellness. And so I really wanted to channel that. So I started my company after I've done all of my recertification and going back to school. And I work with individuals and corporations and organizations, and I bring in wellness as well as leadership coaching. And it's really about bringing in and helping others gain resilience and strength to be the best that they can for themselves in leading themselves, or whether it's leading an organization. And I truly believe that, your organization is the best if it's got the best people. And that's really a 360 work around. Are they doing well in their professional life, their personal life, and everything in between? And so I have some great conversations with leaders about that. And then I come in and do consultations with them or individuals. So I absolutely love it. I'm so passionate about the mind, about leadership, about proactive health strategies. And I brought in a ton of different wellness initiatives to companies that have really moved the mark. And that's going back to my philosophy is built for impact, strong body, strong mind. And it's really about moving the mark, but prepare yourself for that impact in life because it's going to come regardless. And when you're in the middle of that impact or whatever's taking place, it's very hard to build the resilience when you're in it. So it's all about building that strength and resilience beforehand and just being the best that you can for yourself and the people around you. And that brings me to 262. So I met Deb over a year ago. And same thing, I was just so attracted to her energy and what she was about. And what really drew me in is all the women, because I had been around just all men, and the women supporting women in this, group is just phenomenal. And so I wanted to be a part of that. But when I started meeting everybody, the growth and the opportunity is just massive. And whether, you can help somebody else or mentor somebody else or show up for a sister, it's just been phenomenal. I've been on 2 summits. I've really, obviously reached globally because that's what Deb provides. And the opportunity. And not only that, my growth, because I have pushed myself to be in rooms that I never thought I would be in. So thank you, Deb. And thank you, Cari, for having me on today.
Oh my gosh,
You're welcome.
amazing. Cari, should we bring these boys back in and let you ask the next question?
Okay, ladies, thank you for your time here. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna bring the men back in, put them back in the hot seat. So,
All right. Do
Welcome
we want
back,
to put everyone
gentlemen.
in together or is that too much?
Well, we can absolutely bring everyone.
Yeah, let's
back.
do it.
Let's bring everyone in.
Everyone together.
Big group here.
forever.
Okay, well, there's Deb leading karaoke. Well, there's that. Deb, one
All
question
right.
for you. What was your big part of the 262 movement that was one of your positive things?
You're asking me?
That's changing the world. Yeah, I can ask you.
Yes, you can ask me. It's your show. You can ask whatever you want. And then you got to answer and you ask the next question. In case you didn't know, we like to have a lot of fun. Me and Cari, we're always laughing. So, well, honestly, what was one of the most incredible things? I'll tell you, I was sharing it with someone today. It has been trusting the unforeseen. Most of you that know the story of 262, it was the inspiration of doing a book for women when I was 32. Don't say it. And then the book happened. And then it was incredible. And, the woman who was my compiler, we're like, oh, maybe we'll do 22 women, 25. I pray and meditate here, 262, say no for 3 days. Then I call her and I say, it's 262. She says, no, it's not. I've been fighting for 3 days. Let's go. And ever since that moment of things that have come to me, it's got to be the book. And then the book turned into, then I got a message that I had to watch a TV show and I said no. And then I heard, we've sent it 3 times, watch the damn show. And then I watched the show. And then I got this download to create all these summits. And then it had to be around International Women's Day. And then I was telling all the speakers they were going to be on TV. And Angel, who was my compiler, who Shiraz knows, we're putting this together. And I'm like, I'm going to get you on TV. She literally said to me, shut up. You don't have a TV channel. I said, yet. Keyword, yet. And then all of a sudden we had a TV channel. So I think for me, the 262 has been an unfolding of the unforeseen. Someone needs to stand here and start telling me to say no. I apparently don't know how to say no to downloads. And it has been the biggest thing for me. And lately, I got to tell you, the last 4 days, I think the universe felt like I needed it. I have been seeing live the benefit of people meeting each other. I've been going to events and seeing other people from 262 supporting other things. I'm like, look at you here and look at you here. So I think it's
Yeah.
the impact in the last, honestly, 4 or 5 days that's been shoved in my face on the on why and how all of this work and energy has been worth it. But it's the unforeseen that has been probably the most profound.
Yeah, absolutely. And for myself, I know Deb came to me, it was like this last minute. I think I literally had 2 days to give her a picture, and of course I didn't have time to write up anything, but I just quickly gave, quote, whatever, and she's like, yeah, that's good. You'll be fine. I was like, okay, sure.
You gave a message to women. It was awesome.
I gave a message to women. So, and I had said at the bottom, empower others, because I think it's very important that when we have an opportunity to have a platform like this, and Scott can probably relate as well, being, podcasting, and I was lucky enough to be able to get into radio pretty much right away when I started my business. I had someone introduce me to Jesse, and it was back in 2020. So I've been on air since 2020. And to me, TV was always there. It wasn't like a new thing. So when the TV aspect came in, I was like, oh, great, everyone can join the TV group. It's like,
we can all catch up to Carrie.
Right? I was like,
hashtag catch up to Carrie.
Right. Well, we're all connected to Carrie, right? This is the thing. So now everyone that I've met through the 262 movement, I've been trying to get them on and share their voices and bring their messages to everybody across the world and go, what is your important message? What do you want to share? Because those messages can often change lives. Some of us have very important, situations we've been through, life-changing moments. And it's like somebody may just need to hear that and go, oh, well, I've been through the ringer, and I've been through this, been through trauma, I've been through, hell and back. And somebody else that went through it, if they can get through it, I can get through it. Right. So, and my situation was, kind of the same traumatic experience in the past, whatever. And I can really relate to a lot of people and go, you know what? I want to have a platform that will share vulnerabilities of people that, want to bring that out. And I want everyone to feel safe and come on and share and feel like they're being heard, have that time to just go, yeah, I was able to share my story, even if it's for 15 minutes. So when everyone comes on my show, it's usually a one-on-one situation. The groups have been so fun, but it's really fun to hear, everyone's little stories of how they got somewhere, or what they're doing, and how they're bringing other people together. And it just makes my heart just smile and glow. And I'm just cool. And sometimes it's someone that's on my show and they met somebody else. I'm like, oh, that's so great. They got connected with Carrie, and here we are. So, but it just makes my heart smile every single time. And then I have not even sat down and read the 262 book, because every single time.
You better hurry up, because it's going to have a grand in May of 2020. Read it before May 2027 when you're in the next one and it launches. Like, read the book.
I get the live version on my show.
I
When
know.
guests come on and they talk about themselves, and it's more than what's in those pages, right? They tell you the in-between and the entire story without me having to pick it up and go, oh, because their interpretation is a lot different than what's in those pages. And it's more heartfelt, it's more vulnerable. I love it. So that's that.
That's it.
Then that's that. So the next question I have for all you beautiful people is, what is your most proud moments from braving up? And my brave up moment was to accept doing group radio shows, because it's a lot harder than just hosting one-on-one. So braving up, these are my moments of like, okay, let's do it. Let's have some fun. And why not, right? So what is your most proud moments from braving up, whether it was speaking at the Oscars, doing the summits, maybe it's coming on the show tonight, maybe it's going on another podcast. Shiraz, we're going to start with you.
Okay.
Or
For
a
me,
group of women.
For me, it was actually getting up on stage and telling my story. And just the first time that I did it, I didn't know how it was going to be received. I didn't know if people were going to say, "Oh, that's just a bunch of crap." And so right now, like when I get up and speak, I can just speak. But that first time it was like, like what's about to happen now? And just getting the applause at the end and just falling in love with being on stage. Like right now, when I'm on a stage, I just feel at home and I have so much fun. And I just love to interact with the audience and make sure everyone has fun. And it just came from overcoming that fear and being just really vulnerable and raw about this is what happened in my life.
That's very beautiful. Scott, the same question to you.
So I had written in 13 or 14 collaborations. And Laura looked at me and said, "You need to lead a book." And I'm like, no. Well, last August, I started a book, and it's called From Burnout to Burning Bright, with 24 other authors. And it was a 9-month, and Deb, you've written books, you know the process. It's sometimes like herding cats. It's trying to get everybody in line on the right dates, trying to pull the right people in, trying to make sure that everything is aligned. And it's almost a birthing process. It's a labor of love. It truly is, because you have to believe in it. And burnout is such a strong issue now. We find it time and time again with the earth under our feet changing daily, with everything changing within the world, trying to grasp how to make decisions. And so it really has resonated. It just came out May 19th. It's already hit #1 bestseller status on Amazon, thankfully. We just hit international #1, UK and Canada also. And it has been just tremendous with the stories that were told. The other part of that is I'm doing a men's book, and the question is, when did you become a man? And if any of you have ever spoken to guys, no matter the ages we speak, I interview men from 30 until 86 right now, and ask them the questions, and then just sit back and listen. It's amazing, the stories. My dad in his 80s told me stories he never told me before he passed. I sat on his bed when he was going through physical rehab, and he told me stories when he was 7 and when he was 10 that I had never heard. I'd known this man all my life, and I'd never heard these stories. And so when you ask the questions and sit back and let men talk, they feel heard. And I think that's for everybody, by the way. Everybody needs to be heard. Their story needs to be heard and appreciated and listened to and just accepted. And that's where I am. And that's where I feel the bravest, is that I can walk into anywhere and have those conversations and people accept it and allow it.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I think especially for men, they're not often heard or understood. And I feel like society is changing that now, like allowing that and giving them that opportunity to stand up more, speak up more, show up more, as we say. You may have heard that somewhere in a book. Maybe. But it's just so important that they are heard, and just asking those questions, and just giving them a chance to go, what was it like growing up? Or what were your parents like, or your grandparents like? Because they're never asked those questions. Or what are you going through every single day? Just to sit back and hear them. And it's not just to listen to them, it's to hear them and understand them and go, where are you coming from? Why is this important to you? Why are you sharing this? Why do you want to be heard? Or I hear you. And I think that's so important for men, because often it's just swept right underneath the rug. So I commend you for that. Thank you, Scott. Karen, the same question to you. Beautiful, wonderful. What is it? Painting yellow?
Oh, yes, it's painting yellow. Yeah, yellow paint, learning to live again.
I love that.
Yeah. I'm going to echo a little bit of what Shiraz and Scott said, because it is a lot about telling our stories. And I remember the night when my publisher said, Karen, if we're going to get those books to LA, we have to stop editing. And I remember that night, like it was like last night. And it was like, okay. And it was almost like that press the send button. And knowing that my tell-all story was going out to the world, I still get emotional thinking about it. So as much as I wanted to talk about the work I did with clients and how my journey mirrored the work I was doing, I was telling the world things that most of the people in my life didn't know. My daughter knew, but it was, releasing the stories about how I had truly sabotaged myself for 2/3 of my life, kept getting in my own way. And I hurt a lot of people along the way until I totally bottomed out myself. And I knew that the story would help people. I knew that there would be parts of my story that would reflect back to them. I wasn't special. There was really nothing different about my story because we all have our own versions of hitting rock bottom. Right. But it is a tell-all. And I remember even the people helping me edit the book, they're like, Karen, are you sure you want to put that part in? And I'm like, I do, because I live and breathe this every day where I sit with humans with that compassion that we've all done things we're so embarrassed by, regretful of, ashamed by. But how do we get on the other side of that? So that was definitely my brave moment where I'm like, yes, I'm going to do this. And about 5 months after I published the book, my dad came to me and he said, why yellow paint, Karen? Why yellow paint? He was 89 at the time and he didn't know the story, but it was the story where I was ready to just give up on everything. And he was coming the next day to paint a room in my house yellow. And I'm like, I better take a minute and think about this. And that was the beginning of my pause that then I led on, and then created and dug myself out in really important ways. But it was that send moment where like, all right, world, here we go.
Yeah, send it. That's brave. Oftentimes, I don't know, I can be a perfectionist, and I was kind of the same when I first started my business. I was, creating posters and flyers for my shows and everything. And like, there's just that one part of me, I'm just like, oh, this isn't good enough. And but I'm like, I can't do this for hours and hours and hours. I have to get something out there. So having that pressure of like, no, you just have to let it go and just, be okay with that was really hard for me at first. And then over the years, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. It'll be all right.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think if it wasn't for the Oscars, I'd still be editing. I'd still be in my basement. Anyway.
Good for you. Good for you. Catherine, tell us your brave moment.
I think the toughest thing for me was making the decision after having not been working for 8 years and yet trying desperately to come back, just failing time after time because it wasn't the right time. My health wasn't well enough. And to make that decision once and for all that like, this is it. Like, I've got to do this. I've got to get back. I cannot give up. I had so much encouragement and so many ups and downs that I just thought, you know what, I have to do this for me. And in doing so, I refocused on what my own purpose was, what that message was that I wanted to share, what it was that I wanted to have as the impact that I make for others, whether that's through the coaching that I do, whether it's through consulting work, whether it's through speaking or training or just in life in general. And, that was a very hard decision. And I joke about this return because I've been in business a really long time. And so up until that time, I'd done really well for myself. And then I lived on what I call my rainy day fund. And that kept me going for all of that time as I sort of rebuilt myself. But, when I came back, I just said to people, I'm a 30-year-old startup. Like, I'm 8 years away is a long time. Yeah. And my network had changed. The world had changed. I mean, I had done some things, but I had done them sort of haphazardly in between. And so when I came back and I wanted to come back fully ready, fully present, fully focused, and really ready to make that impact and that difference. And my favorite quote is always Yoda's quote, do or do not, there is no try. That is my favorite quote. It is what underlines everything I do. And really what I get out of that is you have to do your best no matter what you do. So it doesn't matter what it is or how well you think you did, as long as you did your best, that's all that can be asked of you. And now I say that to my clients. I'll say, well, did you do your best? Yes. Okay. Did you like the results? No. Okay. So what do we need to change? So there's always something that we can do, and we all learn from that. And, speaking has allowed me to share my message. It's allowed me to sort of reconnect with what's important to me, to be able to help people in a different way. And it's just been enlightening. So when you think about, standing up for what's important and what you value and what your life is meant to do, that was my time to bone up and, kick myself in the behind to stay focused on exactly that. And so, I just think you just got to do it.
Right? I feel you, girl. I feel you. Those are like the best moments, I have to say. We're put under the pressure, just like diamonds, right? You just crunch time, and then it's like, okay, time to let things go. Just do it, and no looking back. Lene, the best for last.
Oh, well, you know what? I have this, like, it's this ongoing theme with all of us, no matter what the story. And it's just remarkable. Like, I'm just sitting here with goosebumps because, there's been many moments in my life where I've had to be brave, personally and professionally. But, this question really hit in the sense, like, what is my bravest? And regardless of everything I've been through, near death, seeing death endlessly, I have to say the bravest thing is I showed up for myself. And it sounds very like, kind of like why haven't you shown up for yourself? But I feel like I went through life, especially in policing and being around men and always having to be strong and don't have emotion and don't show emotion. And you just really start to push everything down.
Yeah.
And the bravest thing for me was just showing up for myself, and that everything that I had done wasn't serving me. It was serving the organization, the other people around me, my loved ones, but was it serving me? And I think the bravest thing is that I showed up for myself, having the boundaries and pivoting my life, really. I mean, anybody that knows anything about 30 years of law enforcement, you pretty much stick with law enforcement. Right. And I've had many people say, are you absolutely insane starting a new business in your 50s and pivoting from policing to leadership and coaching and wellness? And I think I get a few looks like, I've never heard of a nutritionist law enforcement person, but it's just like, no, that is where my heart is. I'm vulnerable. I speak how it is. I love the no BS because I am going to show up now. I am going to have my emotions. I'm going to have my story, and just not backing away from it. And I mean, 262 has been a big part of that. So,
yeah. That's so beautiful. The gumption, right? The gumption, that's what we want. Be able to go, I can leave this life and go to this life. And it takes a lot, because a lot of people see us in our old life and go, no. They'll stop us. Shouldn't be doing that. Shouldn't do that. Shouldn't do that. Same thing. I've been through the same thing. No, you should be over here, not doing that. Oh, well, sorry. Can't please everyone, right? It's here. It's us. Number one, right? Deb, your bravest moment.
My bravest moment. Well, I really relate to what Lene had to say in terms of it's, for me, it was a personal development experience. I think braving up at different times for different things. For me, I was raised in a house of people doing like the absolute best that they could, but it definitely was children should be seen and not heard. And so my first braving up is I would be an advocate for everybody but me. Like if I saw injustice, like they'd be like, okay, she's coming, right? If I saw someone else experience injustice or being taken advantage of or a situation, I was the first person to speak up for them. And because I really got it that, I was the second youngest female cousin of a whole bunch of them. So, that was our job and our rule was to take care of all the cousins. And so really it wasn't a whole lot about ourselves. And it just wasn't the conversation of the day. And then as I started to learn how to stand up for myself, it was really in small increments. And it was where I felt that I could until I've had pinnacle moments in my life where I'm like, okay, I'm at it. Okay, I'm at it. And still today, I work with myself to ask. I'm a very good, obviously, I like to help people. And I always have to check in with myself on asking for myself as much as I'm asking for others. And I can hold a large container for a large amount of people. So that took a little bit of learning about that. But I think for myself, it really is braving up. And where I see it the most, or where I see my brave up and how that's impacted the most, probably would be in my nuclear family. So my daughter has no problem asking for what she needs. She has no problem setting new guidelines for her new nuclear family. She's all good about standing in her convictions on how she raises her kids or how they eat or how they this or how they live. And she doesn't have any of that stuff that I went through when, we didn't eat out of microwaves and we didn't I named my kid Ocean. I mean, I don't want to tell you what my family had to say about that. But and then on the other side, I've got, Ocean, who's 22, who is braving up in his business and braving up in different places. And I'm watching through osmosis how that's not as difficult for him as it was for me. So I think I'm seeing the result of my brave up in my nuclear family. But I have to say that just like Lene, there's been different times in my life where it felt really risky. And I almost had to go to therapy before I could lay boundaries down with certain people in my life. So there it is.
Yeah. The asking, I can relate to the asking as well. I always had such a hard time asking because I was always the one giving and helping others and always doing that. And then now, I'd say over probably the past year or so, it's been like, okay, ask for help if I need it. And I'm trying to do that. And it's going a lot better.
Going a lot better.
Yay.
Deb, all right.
Deb, you get to give us our last question and then we'll see if I've got
absolutely.
time for the bonus.
Yeah. So we're going to kind of go around the room a little tight because we're running a little tight. So let's do this. And it's a powerful question. It's about the biggest inspiration, someone that has made an impression upon you that has been your most motivating or inspiring and just really moved you somewhere, somehow that has made a difference in your life. I'm going to kick it off by saying Gloria Steinem, and I don't need to see anything more than that if you know who she is. So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to start with you, Lene.
Wow. Well, I have so many where it comes to leadership and nutrition, but I'm going to go outside of the total norm here. And I'm going to personally just say my grandma. The people in my life know why that is. But just she's always been an inspiration and she has provided me more than she'll ever know. And God bless her. She's no longer here, but she's given me a lot. So I'm going to say her. And I got all those, the normal ones out there in life that are doing the circuit and all that are so inspiration to. I listen to them every day, but I have to say my grandma.
All right. Go grandma. Okay. Catherine.
This was such a hard question. I can't even pick one necessarily person, but having said that, when I did the talk on the summit, I shared the story about one of my coaches at the time when I was, going down this, what I called my death spiral. And it was, she said to me, you need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. What is it that you want to do to get to where you want to be when all of this moves forward? And that would be the person who was that inspiration for me to kind of just keep nudging along. And then family, friends, colleagues, everybody sort of came in behind, but it was her words that really stuck with me. So I'd still say it's her.
Perfect. And we know we've got lots of people that inspired us, and you've got lots more podcasts. So you can give, you can thank everybody, that one person.
Right.
And Karen, what about you?
Well, I'm going to bring grandma back. This was an easy answer for me. My grandma on my dad's side, she suffered the biggest loss of all by losing a child. And she had secrets that she held for the whole family to protect them. And when I was growing up, I didn't always find that I had a place to belong. But my grandma always, always provided that sanctuary for me that made me feel so special. And she's been an angel for me. I've got angels inked on my left shoulder for her. And I dedicated chapter 3. If you can just bear with me a second, because I did dedicate chapter 3 in my book to my grandma. It's called Giggles and Bubbles. And Deb, I think, knows this, that every chapter in my book starts with songs. I got set 9 of the 12 lyric licenses for the book. And this was how I started chapter 3, Giggles and Bubbles. And I quoted this song: "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away."
Oh. Woo, everybody take a deep breath. That was powerful. That was powerful. All right, Scott, follow that, baby.
Yeah, I was going to say
Very
that's a
tough,
tough
Karen.
one to
Very
follow.
tough. So there are 2 young ladies that I mentor. They're young writers, and I've helped them to be able to be into projects, into books. I'm getting them involved in the writing aspects of it. They are brilliant. They don't know it. They come at it with all their heart. It is just fascinating for me, and they inspire me to do more, be better, be a better writer. And in that mentoring for me is really inspirational, and they drive me forward. And I say young women, and they're in their 30s. So, when you're close to 70, everybody's younger.
It's so beautiful to be inspired by mentorship, right?
Age is in here. It's not out there.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
All right, Shiraz. Yeah.
Okay. So I got arthritis at the age of 22, and I suffered with it for about 18 years till I flew to India and I met this guy, Dr. Ganzan. And over a few weeks, he took me through this process to figure out why I had arthritis. And there were a couple of things that really stood out for me with working with him. It's like when I would go to his space in the place we were staying at, and then we'd go to his office and do some work. And I, arrived there, and I remember the first time I got there, I said, "I'm ready to go." And then I'm rushing off to get to his office because I want to get through this and get out of the arthritis. And he's just strolling behind me, not a care in the world. And then he literally stops to smell the flowers. And I'm like, what's happening? And I realized I'm rush, and he's just at peace. And working with him for a few weeks, eventually we found out that I believed I was responsible for everyone in my life. And he said, "You're creating arthritis as an excuse not to be responsible for everyone. And you just have to decide not to be responsible and not feel guilty that you can't help everyone." And the next day, my arthritis was gone. And it was just this 3-week process of having those conversations to get there. And since then, I've taken that technique and used it not just for illness, but for wealth, for relationships, and shortened it down from 3 weeks to about 5 minutes. But everything stemmed from working with him, from being in his energy, from seeing the inspiration that he is in life. And I just have so much gratitude for him.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is beautiful.
Miss Carrie,
Oh my goodness.
who inspires you?
Oh, this is a really tough one because I think this is so tough. I never even thought about this for myself. I never think I'm going to be on the spotlight, right? I'm just like, oh, whatever. In a way, I'd have to say my mom. And that was also leading up to my next question. But my mom's been through a lot in her life, and she just keeps going. You know, she doesn't let anything stop her, and just keeps going, and just doesn't look back, you know. And she's, you know, not perfect, not whatever. She's just an amazing woman, and she will help you whenever you're down. She won't, you know, ask questions. She won't like harp on you. She'll give you tough love, but she won't like, you know, drill it in to make you feel really horrible. But, you know, you learn your lessons for sure. So I think she's quite a big inspiration to me. So, and she's always one of my biggest supporters. She's always liking my posts and like always popping in my shows. And I feel like I've learned a lot from her. Just not even like, I think it just rubbed off, you know, because I will be on social media and I'll look and I just kind of sit there and I'll kind of see what people are doing. I won't necessarily comment or whatever, but I will just whatever. But then someone will come on my show and I'll say, you know what, I've been watching and I've been seeing your progress and seeing what you've been doing. And then I give them like that proud mom moment of going, congratulations on these movements you've been making in your business or music or whatever it may be. So, because I think oftentimes people don't think they're being recognized. And it's just saying that one moment of like, yeah, you know, I'm watching you and I'm proud of you. So that's definitely what I've seen. So Karen's back. But nice. Let's just take that, you know, another quick little round, because I did want to bring in that last little question of, you know, maybe how your mom inspired you through your business or something big in your life. So again, just a quick around, Robin around again. Catherine, let's start with you.
My mom has just always been there, supports me, doesn't always understand what I'm doing or why I'm doing it or anything about entrepreneurship, but she's always there, supports me, lets me be her, you know, she's my sounding board. Just unconditional love. Can't ask for more.
Yeah, beautiful. Lene.
Yeah, the same. You know, I think as I've gotten older and my mom has gotten older, our relationship has changed a lot. And I would say the way she's aged and the way she's had the resilience and owned some of the things that occurred in our life, I would say I'm like the most proudest of her now, and just who she's become, and just, yeah. So, and she's always there for me. She is always absolutely, she's flown across Canada to be there for me in many different scenarios. So amazing. She's always just been a support, right? The best that she can be in the times that she's in. Yeah.
So cool. Shiraz.
I actually talked about this at the summit. For the inspiration, my mom was actually even before I was born, because she lived in South Africa during apartheid, so she had to deal with that. She got bumped up 2 grades for no reason, so suddenly she was 2 years behind everyone else in the class and made fun of. Everyone was calling her stupid. And despite that, she persevered, went to nursing school, and came in number 2 in her class, not at her school, but for all of South Africa. So despite everything against her, including family, she showed that if you're determined, you can get anything you want.
That's amazing. Yeah, definitely. Scott, same question about your mommy. Tell us.
Mom, yeah, my mom showed me and showed the entire family through service, through love. Her way of speaking through love was to serve, to making sure everybody around her was taken care of, to make sure everything was taken care of, and she put that in me, and so that I hold space, much like Deb, much like yourself. You hold space for a large group of people, and I found that I can hold that space for other people, and that is not always in great abundance for in this world. And so I just count myself in my blessings for being able to do that and have that care and love for other people.
Yeah. Oh, Catherine, are you crying? Oh my goodness.
Sorry. I'm always the soppy one, don't worry.
Get the tissue.
Right.
I'll put one here.
Anybody else need a tissue? Here.
You're supposed to see that.
Yeah.
Told you, everyone gets vulnerable on my show, and that's good. I love that. Oh, ideally, I wanted to bring this question up when it was going to be last weekend because it was for Mother's Day, but I wanted to keep bringing it up just because moms are so special. And I don't, it should be Mother's Day every day, right? So Karen, same question for you.
Yeah, and sorry, I missed Scott and Shiraz's brave moments. The lights literally went out here. Like when I say we're storming here, everything just went.
Right? You disappeared, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, it was
we'll
just
see if she's back.
Yeah. Anyway, I got my way back here, so sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my Ukrainian heritage. I grew up on onion farms on my mom's side, my Baba and Gigi from the Ukraine, and it was all about hard work. And that lineage, that heritage, and my mom, represented that in my life. So thoroughness, detail, roll up your sleeves. Something doesn't work, try it again, try harder. And so, yeah, my motto is work hard, play harder. I probably played a lot more than she did, or I do, but definitely that was instilling in me never to give up, to persevere, and to keep going, to never give up.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Lene, did I get you? I got you.
Yeah, you did.
And I like your grandma story too. That was beautiful because that kind of, the mom's mom was beautiful too. Deb.
Yeah, you know what? I think of two things. I'm a big fan of tradition. My mother was a big fan of tradition, and people know, like, it's the door is open at Thanksgiving, anybody can come. It's the Easter, like all of that, all of those holidays were really important. But there's something that I do that it was interesting. So I know that I can book my tickets online when I fly somewhere, and I can save myself the $30, but I don't. It's my way of supporting the middle. And so I'll book a flight, and the person on the other end says, if you book online, you don't pay me. And I said, do you know if I book online, and you keep telling people that, you're probably not going to have a job? And she's like, thank you for booking. I go, it's my $30 to support the middle. And my mom used to do it. And I'm going to tell you, it used to drive me crazy. So I was young. We'd be in the car. She'd need to get gas. And there'd be a gas station, but they wouldn't have attendants. They were starting to let attendants go, and you can do your own gas. That woman would drive. I'm like, can we just get to a gas station? We're going to run out of gas. But she would drive to a place that had an attendant. And she said, by me pulling in here, that kid or that person will still have their job. And I'm like, you go, Mom. But I realized that I do the same thing. And things traditionally, like, and no offense to anyone that sends birthday cards and anyone digitally, you're all probably hate me, but I believe in cards. I believe in writing. I think your signature is so important. So we do cards, and we send Christmas cards, and we do things like that I still think touches the heart, so that people don't have just bills and flyers in their mailbox. And really, I got that from her.
I can tell you for sure, we love your cards.
Good.
That was beautiful. Yeah, the moms, shout out to moms, right? It's so cool. They're always there. They're annoying, but we love them. And they do so many amazing things for us. And, they ask for nothing in return, right? That's just how it is. And as mothers, I'm pretty sure every woman here is a mother, and we know what it's like to always give. But just to hear a thank you and a shout out to mom, it's beautiful. So, hey, moms, that's beautiful. Thank you to each and every one of you for coming on this evening. You guys have, I don't know, it was such a good show.
It was a great show.
It was, yeah, I'm left in awe myself. So if you are coming back, watching the replay, by all means, check all these, like every single one of these amazing people out. Go to their channels, go watch their things, go to their socials, do something and connect with them. By all means, share your stories with each other, and I like to say, get connected. Because I think it's so important that we share these stories, be on someone's platform, come on the radio, do the things, because I think the more we do connect with each other, the more we will actually see how we're quite alike, but how much we have to share, and just sharing the stories and going, yeah, we understand each other. Even like the men on here, we can understand you. We understand some of the things you go through, and the moms and that situation, even though you're a different gender, doesn't matter. We all understood. And then you guys coming and showing up for women, thank you. We appreciate you, and appreciate you coming on the summits. All of you guys, amazing. Like you go. That's all I got to say. Deb, any last little tidbits you want to add in before we completely wrap up?
No, I think that what we experienced here tonight is what we experience in life. I think vulnerability, business, personal, friendship, Catherine sharing about this 8-year gap, like the transparency and what it takes to come back. I think really what we heard tonight were people talking about life. We're really talking about life, not like, hi, I'm an author and I'm this. And we all are very good at what we do. There's no question about it. But I think what we showed tonight was the person and the experiences behind the screen. That to me, this feels very green room. This feels like we're behind the stage of a really good rock concert and we're all sitting around having, you have whatever cocktail, mocktail. And we were just talking about life, and it's strong. Like those messages are strong and they're deep rooted. And I say this always, like, you don't find people that are willing to share this kind of level of transparency that are servant leader led. Oh my goodness. And reach out. Like when you said reach out, it's like, really, you hear it, but do it. Like do it. There is nothing more satisfying than even having a comment from someone that said, I saw you on the show. So I really feel like we were sitting in the green room tonight. We were laughing, crying, sharing, and really, this is kinship. This is business kinship.
That's beautiful. Thank you to my aunt who said, oh, my beautiful niece is on here. She just, got the little message pop up on my phone. It was a comment she made. So, and she's in Toronto, in Ontario. So she's 2 hours ahead. She stays up and she watches my shows as well. So it's beautiful. Thank you again, everyone, for coming on this evening. We will if you guys want to come back, you let me know. We'll do one-on-one, all the good things. But please share this out, invite your friends on, and we will talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Deb, my beautiful, lovely co-host, for coming on this evening, sharing your stories, being vulnerable with us as well. I appreciate you. Appreciate all you do. Putting everyone together, doing the things. Oh my goodness, girl, you go.
You go. Well, I appreciate you too. You know what I appreciate? That we can laugh. Like, we can laugh. We're good. I got you. You got me. We got it.
We got it.
Yeah.
All right. Good night,
All
girl.
right, girl.
Hang in
Thanks.
there. Good
Bye.
night. Thank you, everyone, again for tuning in this evening with Connected with Cari here on JessTV, JessFM, Underground Radio C. If you would like to be a guest on the show, by all means, contact myself at radioc.contact@gmail.com. Hit up my socials. You can DM me there as well. And I would love for you to come on my show, whether it be a solo or come in for a group show like there was tonight. You're more than welcome to come on. Just say the word. With that, I hope you guys have a pleasant, wonderful Saturday. Those of you who are in Canada, I know I didn't get a chance to watch the game, so let's hope that Montreal did okay. Otherwise, I'll find out soon. And those in the States, you have the long weekend coming up, so have fun with that. Stay safe. And with that, stay connected. Good night, everyone.